Hello and welcome to the channel. The ACT test is having some big changes taking place in 2025. This video is going to cover the changes to the ACT Reading Comprehension section. So before we get started, like I just said, this is only going to cover changes to the Reading Comprehension section. If you want to know the changes to the entire test, which I would recommend, I have a separate video for you, and that's called Upcoming ACT Changes in 2025. That's currently in my ACT General Study Guides and Information playlist. I'll have a link in the description to this video. I'd recommend you go there so you can see all of the changes. Just so you know, there's not going to be any new information in this video for just reading comprehension or any of the other section-specific English, Math, or Science 2025 changes videos. So if you watch this one up here that has all of them, there's no reason to waste your time and go watch all of the other 4. That's why I wanted to put this information in here, make sure that I respect your time, and you only watch these if you want to have either a reminder or if you want to go one section at a time and just focus for the changes there as you get to them. I just wanted to make sure that's also there because I know a lot of people might go straight to the individual playlists and not even see that this other video exists. So now you know it's there. You can watch whatever format you prefer. So let's get to a little intro here, beginning with the most important info is with these changes, the content that's being tested is not changing. What will change, though, is the presentation and the timing. So how do they ask the questions in some cases, and in all cases, the timing is going to change. So I am going to go throughout the year and update any of my strategy or content videos as necessary, where these changes that are coming are actually going to require some extra information that I can present to you and how you approach them. That might take some time, but I will get them out. And I'll try and include both versions because you might still have the old practice material, because right now everything out there in the world with study guides and practice tests are in the current, or which will become the old version of the test. That's still going to be perfectly useful material because the content is still exactly the same, but it's important to know how they will differ so you know what's coming. You can also go straight to the ACT's website. They have an ACT test enhancement page. That's where they're going to outline all these changes. So you can get it straight from the source. It'll be up to date in case they add anything that I might have missed or that they didn't have out there at the time of making this video. So I'm going to include the link to that page as well as this page here on the ACT's website, which has a practice test with sample questions in the new format. So that's where we can get some actual good practice with the new version, which I would recommend that you do. And with all of these links, just keep in mind if the URL changes, the link might break. So you might have to Google it. So, when are these changes going to happen? Who has to worry about this? For the computer-based testing, that's going to be the first one to see it. That's April of this year, 2025. Now keep in mind the ACT's website says national computer-based, but it doesn't actually mention international, so I would assume for my international students, you are probably also going to see these changes in April if you're doing the computer-based. It might be worth doing a quick little bit of extra research to see if you can figure out for sure. But the good news is one of those changes is the science section is becoming optional. So if you go to register and you're given the choice between take science or don't take science, that's how you know you've got the new version. For everyone else taking the paper-based Saturday testing, that change is going to occur in September of this year, 2025. Now, also keep in mind, which has to be the case with these dates, but the public schools here in America often give out for free or automatically in the spring the ACT. If you were taking it that way, you're going to see these changes in the spring of next year, 2026. So what are the changes for reading comprehension? Not much. Timing-wise, we're going to have 40 minutes for 36 questions instead of the current 35 minutes for 40 questions. So you're actually going to see these kind of flipped to just give you more time. So practice test that they gave us has 4 passages with 9 questions each. They haven't officially stated that they will always have 4 passages with 9 questions each. We only have 1 practice test right now, but most likely you're probably going to see something like this. And you're still going to have 1 double passage, just like you do right now, which has the 2 small passages and compare and contrast type questions. So pacing-wise now, that's going to give you 10 minutes per passage. So my general recommendation is try and spend less than half of that time reading the passage, leaving most of the time for questions. Since you have a little bit more time per passage now, you have a bit more flexibility for different reading speeds and to find what works for you. So get some practice in with that, but still try not to spend over half of that 10 minutes per passage reading. The last thing to keep in mind for the reading comp is that your composite score, where you average all of your sections, is not going to include science anymore because that's going to be optional. So instead, science will have its own separate score, and your composite is just going to be the average of your English, math, and reading comprehension sections. And that's going to do it for reading comprehension. Good luck. I'll see you on the next video.